Thank you so much, everyone, for joining our EduLive today. So, before we start, my name is Bridget, and today we will be exploring about Flinders universities. So, it will be including the global rankings, admission requirements, available scholarship, and also why Adelaide is such a fantastic destination for international students who might not be aware about Adelaide itself. So, without further ado, now it's my time, and it's my pleasure to introduce our speaker for today, Mr. Mason Lee, Regional Manager at Flinders University. Over to
All
you,
right.
Mason.
Thank you, Bridget. So while there are some people might coming in, so we kind of like warming up the live stream, the streaming first. So today I will share a bit about me. I will talk a bit about the city, Adelaide, which is the campus located, and then I will talk slightly about Flinders universities and our campuses with few of the programs for you to consider. And also very important, I think we will be talking about scholarship, which is something I think a lot of students will very concerned about. So a bit of about me, myself. So my name is Mason Lee, and I'm the regional manager at Flinders Universities that look after Southeast Asia. So I know a lot of audience here are either coming from Malaysia or Philippines or Indonesia. So a bit of sharing that I actually came through the exactly same journey as you. So originally I'm from Penang, from Malaysia, and then about I finished my diploma back in Penang College, and then after I finished my diploma, and then I came to Adelaide to study my bachelor degree. And quite luckily and fortunate, after I finished my study, I get a job, and then I apply for my visa, got my PR. So I now based in Flinders, and I've been living in Adelaide for more than 10 years. So that's a bit about myself, which I can share a bit more with you about my personal journey, which you will likely to go through the same journey as well. This is the city that I choose to study, and now I choose to live and call it as my home. It's Adelaide, which is the tagline. I love it very much, called Design for Life. So Adelaide, to give you a bit snapshot, is the fifth largest city in Australia, and the population is 1.4 million. And there's a lot of a good thing about Adelaide, and it's now a hidden gem in Australia that a lot of people love it. So we call ourselves as a festival state. We are the happiest city in Australia. And if you look at the maps for Australia, Adelaide is down south here in South Australia. So if you're going to Melbourne, you're gonna take 1 hour flight from Adelaide to Melbourne. If you go to Sydney, then you take 2 hour flight to Sydney. If you're coming from Malaysia, we have a Malaysia Airline, which will be 7.5 hours from Adelaide to Kuala Lumpur. If you're coming from Indonesia, we also got Jetstar and also Virgin, which is going to Bali, then Pasar. And this is a bit about Adelaide. So it's close to a beach city, and the climax, the weather is very nice. It's a Mediterranean weather, which means during the summer it's a bit warm and dry, and during the winter it's pretty chill and cold. And this is how it looks like if you choose to study in Adelaide. This is how your Instagram is gonna looks like. So this is some of the places, tourist places in South Australia, and a lot of our students, when they're having a semester break, they actually will go to do a road trip or so on. So remember, if you're able to study in Australia, I'm pretty sure you're not only looking to study, but looking to enrich your study experience as well. And one of the fun fact to share at the bottom right is actually me. So started from last few years, I think Adelaide started to have a lot of the Northern Light. And then there's one night, me and my friends, we want to go for the Northern Light. We can't catch Northern Light, but it's very lucky that we see the galaxy. We see the Milky Way, which is very, very pretty. And there's a lot of things to do in Adelaide, which we call ourselves as a festival state. We in the whole South Australia, we organize more than 400 events every year. And this is very important actually for international students who want to study in Australia, because when you study abroad, you not only stay on your campus, but you really want to enjoy the vibe, you know, the festival vibe, the real Australian culture. So what you can do is there's a lot of festival events, and you can go out to all the festival events, and most of the time it is free. Okay. So it's not only give you the experience, but on the other side, if you're looking for part-time and casual job, this is some of the opportunity that you can work as a part-time or as a casual, because when there's a lot of events, they will need a lot of casual staff, they need a lot of volunteers, and this is where you can really get opportunity to enhance your study experience. And not to mention, Adelaide's been ranked at the most beautiful city in the world last year by Architecture Digest, which is something that we're very proud of as well. And this year, we consistently rank top 10 in the world for most livable city as well. And the real reason, actually, for me personally, like 10 years ago, the reason I come to Adelaide to study is the cost of living. So to share a bit of my personal journey, when I finished my diploma in Penang, and then I was thinking to study abroad. So the counselors actually share some cost of living index comparing Adelaide to other cities, including Singapore, Hong Kong, everything. And I noticed that Adelaide cost of living is actually lower, which will help me to save a lot of money. So for example, this is the calculator that is from the Australian government, which is the Australia government website. From the website, they had a calculator that you can put in what type of lifestyle you want. And according to the lifestyle, then they will come out with the estimated cost of living. Now, you can see Adelaide, if you compare to some other major city, you are saving about 500, let's say in average per month. So this is a cost of living per month, and it does make a lot of difference. So instead of cost of living, the tuition fee at Flinders is also quite reasonable. It's not very high compared to some other Australian university as well. And the good thing is for next year index, as long as you meet entry, you will be receiving 20% Kickstart scholarship. And we got more scholarship, which I will show you later. Now, we talk about the cost of living in Australia, Ben, and some of you might thought, studying in Australia is actually very expensive. Yes, if you wanted to eat out every day, it will be quite expensive. But in Australia, if you don't eat out every day, you cook at home, you manage a budget lifestyle. Things in Australia is actually quite affordable sometimes when compared to your income. So I give you some real example with all the real prices, which I get it from the supermarket this morning. So this is the real data. So let's say, for example, you buy rice, it's only 180. You buy the whole chicken, is 13.20, and then you buy the 300-gram potato, it's like only $1.50, and one pack of 1 kilo carrots is only 2.20. So you can see the price is actually not very high. And you get some, garlic 210, you get some sugar for 2 kilo is like 260, and cooking oil. So one bottle, 2 kilo again, $6. And then the brown onion shallots is 0.46. And for example, if you get a bit more, okay, you get curry powder 450, coconut milk 170, and then lemongrass $3. For those who did some cooking at home, with all these ingredients, which cost $39.26, you can actually get a whole pot of curry chicken, right? With 39.26, you are cooking the whole pot of curry chicken. And the most fantastic things is with this, even sounds quite a bit compared to Malaysia and Singapore, compared to Malaysia and Indonesia, but the minimum wages in Australia per hour is $26.44, which means if you're working as a part-time, you only need to work for 2 hours and you can prepare the whole meal, go to party and bring your friends, come to your house to have a party and everything. So the cost of living and your income, your salary is very balanced. So you work for 1 or 2 hours, you can literally cover the meal for 1 or 2 days. And this is about cost of living calculation. So just now we mentioned that Adelaide is about 2,000 per month, and compared to subsidy, which is about 500 difference per month, right? If you study for 1 year, it will be 6,000. If you study for 3 years for your bachelor degree, the difference on the cost of living itself is 18,000, which from Malaysia, I convert to Malaysia, is 49,500. So a lot of students, you might have no idea how much this money is. So let's do some, I asked some ChatGPT what the saving can actually do, right? So let's say I'm from Malaysia. So 49,000 you're saving, or 770,000 peso, or 226 million rupiah, which is 18,000. I'm from Malaysia. The money I save just because choose to study in Adelaide, I can actually get 15 flight tickets to Malaysia, which means I'm saving the money that can allow me to go back to Malaysia 3 times every year. Okay, so this is some really fantastic things, right? And let's say if you like to go to travel to Japan, right? The ChatGPT come out with saying that I can did 7 trips. I can do 7 trips to Japan just with the money that I saved over the 3 years. But I want to share some more realistic thing with you is if you come to Australia study, I'm sure that you must visit Opera House, you must visit um, Darling Harbour Bridge. It's impossible that you already study in Australia, but you never visit Opera House. It doesn't make sense, right? But the thing is, if you wanted to maintain a more budget lifestyle when you study abroad, you don't need to live in Sydney or Melbourne. You can actually live in Adelaide and you use the money that you save to do a holiday trips. So as ChatGPT mentioned, you can actually do 25 trips, 2 days, 1 night trips to Sydney or to Melbourne, which means you are doing 7 to 8 trips per year to interstate 2 days, 1 night. So imagine your lifestyle studying in Adelaide. Every 2 months, you actually travel to Sydney, Melbourne, Gold Coast, Brisbane, Tasmania, Canberra, Darwin. So over the 3 year study, you actually visited all cities in Australia. How good the lifestyle is, right? So this is just with the money that you save and how you can really using the money to enrich your lifestyle while you study here. And the good thing about, I'm gonna move a bit, 1 second, yeah. Okay. Um, the thing is here is in Adelaide, the South Australia government, they come out with this program called Job Shop. So what Job Shop is, this is the program that dedicated for international students only who want to look for part-time and casual jobs. So you just need to jump on their website. Okay, this is dedicated for international students in Adelaide who want to look for part-time and casual jobs. So let's say you can work in the government, even if you're an international student. You can work in aged care. So let's say if you study teaching, then probably you want to work as a part-time in as a early year educators or etc. This could help you to build your experience, build your resume to ensure that when you finish your study, you already have a connection and experience, and it will help you to get a job in Australia. And some of them, their pay is quite high. For example, Adelaide Venue Management, they are paying $34.64 per hour, which the pay is quite high that can help you to cover some of your cost of living. Okay. Okay. And another good thing is studying in Adelaide, it gives you additional 1 year of the temporary graduate visa. What does it mean? So if you study in Australia, when you finish at least 2 years study of bachelor or master degree, you can actually live in Australia for 2 years. Okay, you can apply the visa called temporary graduate visa after you finish study for 2 years. If you study in Adelaide, you can get additional 1 year, which means if you finish bachelor degree or master degree, instead of 2 years, you can actually stay in Australia for 3 years. Okay. This applies to students who study outside Sydney, Melbourne, and Brisbane, which including Adelaide. So the 1 year will make quite a bit of difference, which means if you study master degree, you study here for 2 years, but you can work and live here for 3 years after you finish your study. So that is something about Adelaide. And then now I'm very happy to share with you something about Flinders. And Flinders, the reputations, the rankings, our program, and etc. and etc. So a bit of fast fact about Flinders. So we are #1 in South Australia for over experience. This is something Flinders very proud of because we take care of our students. Our philosophy is students who study at Flinders, we see them as the individual students. We know them by their names rather than see them as a number. And there's a lot of fun fact about Flinders. For example, we are the first university in Australia that co-located with the public hospital. We are the only university in Australia that offer 20 weeks of compulsory placement or internship. For engineering and IT program, we rank number top 2% in the world. And then in students number wise, we got about 6,000 international students, while the whole university have about 25,000 international students. There's a lot of clubs that you can join over, but the things that I want to share with you is this one, International Student of the Year. Because sometimes a uni, we have good ranking and everything, but students may ask, what does it mean for me as an international student? What can I get, what I can achieve if I study at this uni? So I give you some example. Study Adelaide, which is a state government agency, every year they will organize these awards called International Student Awards for every student who study in South Australia, state South Australia. And students every year they can start applying for academic excellence, they can apply for community engagement, peer support, everything. And this award is very prestigious because it's normally awarded by the governor of South Australia. And among all international students in the state of South Australia, they will only choose one best international student of the year. And at Flinders, we are very proud because we actually produce the most best international students in the state of South Australia. So our students actually win the International Student of the Year for 2016, 18, 19, 2021, 2022, and 2024. So if you are listeners from Indonesia, something that I want to share with you is at the current Indonesian government, 4 minister is actually Flinders alumni. So we have the most, so in the Indonesia ministry cabinets, Flinders have the most alumni sitting in there. So we always joke about that. If you are coming from Indonesia and you want to be a minister in the future, then you will really need to come to study at Flinders. And to share something about the scholarship, if you're coming for foundation and bachelor degree, right, your when you study the foundation, you get 20% scholarship. When you progress to bachelor degree, you get 30% scholarship. And I explain to you slightly later. If you're coming for diploma, you get 20% scholarship. When you progress to bachelor degree, you get 20% scholarship as long as you meet the entry. Now, if you come as a direct intake, right? Just now I mentioned that we offer the 20% Kickstart Scholarship for 2027, which means as long as you meet entry for the program, you will get 20% scholarship. Okay. Some program might be excluded, for example, medicine, for example, clinical psychology, but most of the program actually will be included as scholarship. And the good thing is, you just need to submit and you probably will get at least 20% scholarship. And then if your result is slightly better, for example, if you are from Malaysia, study A levels, if your A levels is 7, which is DDC, you get 20% scholarship throughout your whole duration. If you're from SMA Tiga from Indonesia, then 7.5, you get 25 scholarships. And 30% scholarship if you are CCC in A levels or SMA 8.5, or you study IB 28 or Monash University Foundation Year 80. Then you get 30% scholarship throughout your whole duration journey. Now, the 50% is not guaranteed. So what you need to do is if you meet the requirement for 50%, you'll be invited to submit a separate application. And the 50% is not guaranteed. You need to submit separate application, and there's an application process, and they'll be shortlisted to see if you get awarded. So this is a very prestigious and competitive scholarship. Meanwhile, the 20%, 25%, and 30%, this scholarship is no application needed. As long as you meet the entry, you are guaranteed to be awarded the scholarship. If you study master degree, then it's calculated by your GPA. Okay. In Australia, the full GPA is 7. And then if your GPA is 5.5, then you get 25%. Now, this sounds a bit confusing, especially if you're coming from Philippines. But I give an example how Australia calculate our GPA. So in Australia, if your score is 85 to 100, the GPA you're getting is 7. If your score for the particular subject is 75 to 84, you get 6.0. If your score is 65 to 74, you get credit, which is GPA 5, and the pass is 50, which is pass. So this is the table comparable to Philippines bachelor degree. In Malaysia, we're using GPA 4.0, but how we're going to do is we're going to take out the subject by subject and we'll convert it to Australia based on your score, and we convert it back and we will see which category you fall under and we'll apply the scholarship accordingly. Okay, any question about this? Let me know. But I think at Flinders, we offer very generous scholarship for students. So I give you a bit of example. If you're coming from Philippines from high school, and then you will need to go through the diploma, okay? Diploma for 1 year, then you study a bachelor degree. While the tuition fee, as long as you make entry, you're actually getting the after the 30% scholarship, your tuition fee will reduce down to this amount. So let's say if you are coming to study Bachelor of Virtual Effect and Entertainment Design, you're coming from UEC, from Malaysia, and your result is 20, which means best 5 subject in B4 average. Or you're coming from SMA 3 and your score is 8.5. So instead of the annual tuition fee of 37,200, you actually need to pay $26,040 as an annual tuition fee. Now, if you come to study a master degree, right, and your overall score, your subject, all of your subject score is 75 and above for Malaysia and for Indonesia. So you're coming to study Master of Teaching. The original tuition fee is 40,000 per year, but after the 30% scholarship, the cost actually dropping to 32,000 for 1 year of Master of Teaching. So it will help you to reduce a lot of your cost to study overseas. And for English wise, if you're I actually have this table which is slightly better. For Malaysia and Philippines, we can depend on your qualification and use your qualification to meet English requirement. So for example, if you're coming from Malaysia and then you finish SPM with English C or O level with English C, then you will meet the program which require IELTS 6.5. If you're coming from Philippines, catch off, okay? Or you're coming from STPM or A level, you completed A levels, or you completed Cert 4 and above diploma from Malaysia and Philippines qualification with English as medium of instruction, you'll be meeting English, which means you don't need to further take IELTS. Okay, you can use your qualification to meet English entry. Now, if you completed IB or you completed a bachelor degree in Malaysia or Philippines or Australia, you will be meeting English for most of the program, excluding nursing, counseling, and clinical psychology, which means even you're coming to study, let's say, social work or let's say teaching, education, you have a bachelor degree back in Malaysia or Philippines with English as medium of instruction, you can use the qualifications to meet English for IELTS 7. Okay. And at Flinders, we have 5 different colleges, okay, and we offer more than 400 different programs. So I'm pretty sure there will be some program that will be suitable for you, depends on what you wanted to study. And this is our campus. We got 3 campus. Main campus is called Bedford Park, which is where I located. And we got another campus at Tonsley and New City campus. So Bedford Park and then Tonsley, which is more high technology and city. This is the view of our Flinders Bedford Park campus. Okay. From the campus, if you go to the shopping mall, it's only 11 minutes. If you go to the beach, the very famous popular Glenelg Beach is 15 minutes. If you go to the CBD, if you're taking a train, it's only 22, 23 minutes. So it's very accessible. And the good thing about this campus is at this campus, over here is Flinders Medical Center, which is public hospital. Next to it is private hospital. And we have health and medical research building. Next year, we will start the construction for Flinders Healthcare Center, and we have the Health to Go. So it's actually formed out the medical precincts at Flinders University. That's why Flinders is very well known for our health and medical related program. So uh, Flinders Medical Center, which is the only teaching hospital in South Australia and is co-located with Flinders University. And then we got this Health to Go. It's an allied health clinic. If you study, for example, exercise, hearing, nutrition dietetics, physiotherapy, occupation therapy, you're actually able to do your placement in Flinders Health to Go. And the good thing about Health to Go is this Health to Go is actually open for community. There is a real patient coming in. They got staff, they got students, they got community members coming in, and you are treating the real patient inside the hospital, inside the university, which students feel more comfortable and more confident because your supervisor, your tutor will just around the corner to support you whenever you have any questions. Okay, again, medical research buildings already opened last year, and the new city campus coming up is Flinders Healthcare Center. If you study a medicine-related program, for example, biotechnology or medical science, you actually study inside the hospital since the first day. So from the front end of the building you walk in is a public hospital. From the back end you walk in is a private hospital. It's a teaching hospital, which means all the students will be studying in there. And if you're interested in health science or nursing, we offer different program: health science, exercise science, sports science. And next year we already have a new program. So it's not new program, but this program has to be modified from 4 years degree to 3.5 years degree for nutrition dietetic, speech pathology, physiotherapy, and occupation therapy. So you completed the 3.5 years bachelor degree in this allied health area. After you finish, then you can register as an allied health profession and work as a dietitian or speech pathologist or physiotherapist. Yeah. And in graduates, you can study Master of Audiology, clinical exercise science, physiology, counseling, again, nutrition dietetics, occupation therapy. So it depends on what you're really interested to study. The second campus is Tonsley campus. This campus is located in the first innovation district in Australia. And this campus is more on all the fancy stuff. They got a lot of labs in a very high technologies, such as medical device research labs, nanoscale institution. Sorry, the lights go off. Yeah. And the good thing about this campus is this is the building, and next to the building is all the real industry. So for example, Tesla, Siemens, Bay System, MicroXis, they all have the office research center next to our campus, which we sit together in the same compound. So this also shows that Flinders' connection with the industry is very, very strong. So for this campus, we're offering a lot of engineering and IT program. So for computer science and IT, if you want to study AI, you want to study geospatial information system. So geospatial information systems is something related, maybe like GPS or drones or game development, machine learning, cybersecurity, which is one of the very popular program nowadays. Or engineering, if you want to study biomedical, or civil engineering, EE, environmental, maritime, etc. Okay, this is one of the things that I want to show you is at our engineering, we have this one called Medical Device Partnering Program. This program is an idea incubator, which means if you study biomedical engineering and you got some good idea, you want to produce some real products, okay? You don't have the money, you don't have the researcher, you don't have the facility, you can come to join this medical device partnering program, and we could try to link you for researcher, industry, government, investor to come to make your products come true. So one of the real example is this glasses called Retimer, okay? In the past, they have an idea. Some students, PhD student, and a supervisor, they have ideas wanted to overcome jet lags. So what they do is they do a research. They notice that lights actually will affect your body clocks. So what do they do is they join this medical device partnering program and they design these products called retimer, which they are using the light therapy to help you to readjust your body clocks. And this product now is already launched into the market and is able to buy online or buy at the Amazon. And it costs about $300. So this is some real success case that you can do as well in the future. Here we've got New City Campus, Flinders City Campus, which is located in the CBD. Some students you might be interested to study inside the city. So we got business, creative arts, government, health science, IT, law, social, psychology, social work, etc. Okay, nursing. This is one of our very popular program. Okay, we have two types of different nursing. One is a graduate entry. This is a 2 years program. If you already have a bachelor degree, you will need to apply for 2 years nursing. If you're coming from high school or SPM, STPM, then you'll study this 3 years nursing. Okay, to study for the Bachelor of Graduate Entry Nursing, you need to have a bachelor degree, but you also need to have a prerequisite, which means you need to study a subject related to understand body structure and function. If you don't have that, let's say if you study accounting in your bachelor degree, then you want to do a nursing degree. What you can do is you can go online, enroll into this short course at Flinders called Anatomy and Physiology. Once you completed this short course, then you'll be able to meet the entry for anatomy and physiology. Then you can apply for 2 years graduate entry. And there's a lot of placement for nursing. So in the first year, you already start your 10 days. In your second year, you start 20 days in semester 1 and 20 days semester 2. Third year, 40 days semester 1 and 40 days in semester 2. So actually, you are very exposed into the real industry. And the good thing is you started to build the real experience and the connection. So most of the friends or most of the students I see who study nursing, when they finish the study, they can easily get a job. And this is our simulations hub. And some of the example is, if you look at this is actually not a old man, it's actually an actor. And then what they put is they'll put a silicone mask. So when you look into the mannequin, it's very plastic and fake, right? But when students go to the real hospital, they might see people of different age, different background. Sometimes students will feel nervous and scared. So what happened is at Flinders, we try to put some identity for each of the mannequin. So for example, this is a silicone, and then we put it for people, we put it for some actor, or we put it under the mannequin. So when you are practicing with the mannequin, then you started to get used to people from different background. For example, elder, for example, from African ethnic group or different group. And the career outcome for nursing is actually quite high. Okay, before I go further down, I kind of like answer a bit of questions first, if you got any questions so far. So environmental science degree from one thing, I will get back to on that one. Do we need to pay for the clinical placement? If I assuming you're talking about the nursing, so the placement is actually part of your study. So let's say if your tuition fee is 40,000 per year, then you pay the 40,000 per year. Okay. It's part of your study program and you will need to do a placement outside. But what you pay is you pay the tuition fee. Okay. For SPM, you want to use your SPM trial results to apply for Flinders Foundation. Sorry, I'm answering some of the Q&A for now. Some student ask is can I use SPM trial results to apply for Flinders Foundation program? Yes, you can. And I will touch base a bit about the foundation with you later. You'll be finishing your diploma or nursing soon. Am I able to get conditional COE while wait for my certificate? Yes, you can do that. So if you're already awaiting your last semester, you can request for conditional COE while you're waiting for your certificate. Yes, it is possible. Speak to AIG counselors and they can reach out to us to help you to request for the COE. Okay. Now, for the foundation and environmental science, I will come and touch base with you slightly later. The teaching is another program that is very popular at Flinders as well. This program is top 200 for Flinders in the educations, and we are the largest provider in South Australia. And students who study this program, again, you're actually doing a lot of experience placement, a lot of internship, a lot of on-job training with minimum 80 days. This is some of the career outcome for Australia. So let's say if you finish your study, all right, and you work as a teacher, the starting salary for most of the people who go to become a teacher, their salary is sitting around 70,000 to 80,000 per year. So it's actually quite high paid for fresh grade as well, even no matter you study for early childhood or primary or secondary. So this is at Flinders. We rank 100% globally and etc. And the programs that you can become a teacher if you want to study at Flinders is for teaching master degree. We have birth to 5, which means you can teach in the kindergarten or preschool. We got early childhood, which you can teach from birth to 8 years old. We got primary, we got secondary. And all this require is you completed your bachelor degree with pass, average pass, IELTS 7. Again, if you already have a bachelor degree in Malaysia and Singapore, you can request to use your qualification to meet the entry. And you don't need background, which means no matter you're coming from business background or nursing background, or you're coming from psychology background, you can apply for all these programs. And if you are coming to study bachelor degree, then it's a 4 years degree. Then you can do that as well. Okay, Flinders, there's a placement and there's a LA course. So Flinders Early Childhood Program is very popular because we have the only corrective rooms in Australia. When you look at this one, this is not a kindergarten, okay? This is the real classroom for Flinders Early Childhood students. So what we do is we have this facility called corrective room. In some of your semester, you actually will come out to this room and help to set up your class. Just like if you go to kindergarten, how you're gonna set up your class for kids to learn. So this is some of the facilities at Flinders. And then we have the only teaching classroom in Australia and the placement support, which means when you do the placement in a school, our academic staff will go to do the site visit, which means we will go to the school to visit you, to visit the staff at the school to make sure everything is good, is settled down, is settled well for you. And so far the feedback is this is the highest visits, which means Flinders go to engage directly with students on site is among the highest in the whole Australia. And then we got information session for site students. We have the land type preparation workshop. Land type is the literacy test. If you want to register as a teacher in Australia, you need to complete this land type preparation workshop. And we got English in and academic support to make sure that when you study, you don't feel a lot of challenge. And of course, and another very popular things we have is a specialized education. It's called Master of Inclusive and Specialized Education. We know, the mental health things is one of the issues, the disability, the special needs kids is one of the things that we really wanted to support. So we have this program is for students who are interested to support students to teach with special needs students. So for example, if entry to this program, you will need to have some background, education, disability, visual psychology, speech, etc. And you'll be learning, autism, complex disability, student inclusions. You will need to study these 3 and plus 1 minor. You can choose STEM education, students' well-being, or leadership educations, etc. So this is some of the very niche program that Flinders offer as well. Okay, so far, if any question, drop in the chat box. I slightly talked about the creative arts as well, which I see quite some interest from Malaysia and Indonesian students. So Flinders Creative Arts, very high global ranking, and the global ranking is actually something that very related to the industry. And is very proud that we have the world's first Master of Virtual Production degree, which I will show you later. So if students who are interested in this area, you might heard about Rookies Award. So Rookies Award is something similar to in education, we got QS ranking. In in performance art, we got Emma Award, we got Oscar Awards, we got the previous soccer World Cups, football World Cup. In the creative industry, we have this called Rookies Awards. Okay. And the Rookies Award, Flinders is ranked very high. So we rank number 2 in Australia under the Rookies Award. We rank number 1 in Australia as 2D animation school. We rank 15 in the world for visual effects school. And one of the very good thing is we have the direct industry linkage, which means if you study, let's say, virtual effect and entertainment design, half of your time actually study at the CDW studio, while another half study at Flinders Universities. And CDW is the studio that focus in visual effect and entertainment design, and they will have a lot of international masterclass for students to join as well. And one thing about that is Rising Sun. Some of you might heard about it, but I don't think a lot of you heard about Rising Sun Picture. So Rising Sun Picture is a studio that based in Adelaide in South Australia. So what happened is a lot of movie filmed in US, and then they will need to do some visual effect, post-production design. So they film it at the green screen, and then they will give it to different studios to help them to do the visual effect and entertainment design. Rising Sun Picture is a studio based in Adelaide in South Australia, and this is some of the project there has been worked for. Shang-Chi, Black Widow, Captain Marvel, Spider-Man, Mockingjay, Harry Potter, X-Men. So they are really, really reputable in the industry for all the virtual effect and post virtual productions. So why they link to Flinders is because at Flinders, we have the facility called the Void. So the Void is the facility using the same technology as Sydney, at Disney, and is one and the best is kind in South Australia. So sometimes we partners with Rising Sun Picture because Rising Sun Picture will need to come to Flinders campus to use the facility at the Void. So this is some of the photos from the Voids. This is actually the stuff from AIG. So this is some of the studios. We got the wide screens there. We got motion capture facilities, motion capture cameras, and Jason is the virtual effect productions entertainment design course coordinator from UK. So this program will require a portfolio, but let's say if you are studying accounting or you are currently working as a social media person, if you want to progress your skills, you can actually study Master of Virtual Production. All right. To study Master of Virtual Production, you don't need any background. So no matter what's your background, accounting, medical science, health science, engineering, you can come to study this program. Okay. And after you finish this program, there's a lot of career opportunity. For example, if you work in the health area, right, and you study these virtual productions, what you can do in the future, if maybe you can do some virtual productions products for healthcare and medical. For example, when you look at nowadays, a lot of reels or a lot of short videos, they will talks about how body structure looks like. They will need to show the videos, but who gonna correct the video? Who gonna correct all the effects? Is someone who knows the virtual productions. Let's see. Okay. And let's say if you're interested to study social media at Flinders, we are the only degree in South Australia that have combined, digital media, business, or social media. So if you study a bachelor degree in media communication, in the second year, you can choose your major, whether in social media, digital content, or PR. But the good thing is for both of these degree, no matter you study bachelor of media communication or master of media communication, in your last year, you actually study this program called student-led agency. So what does it mean is this program, you actually will have a lot of the students come together to form your own agency, which means you will start everything from A to Z. You will need to talk to real industry people to understand their real needs, the real project, and you'll start scratching from budget, message, objective, and then you're going to do your proposal. And then from there, you're going to pitch your idea to them. And then from there, then you will need to start to work on your project, and after work on your projects, then you will need to deliver and you need to report on the outcome. So the student agency is the full journey for you to really understand what happened in the market, how to do a real project, what is the outcome, and etc. Okay, we do have other programs, for example, Master of Social Work, Business, and everything as well. If you got any particular program, then let me know. I can touch a bit more on that one. But just now we mentioned about just now we have talked about the foundation. Someone had asked about the foundation degree. So give me a second. Okay, if you're interested in social work or business, let me know. I can share a bit more with the MBA with you. But the good thing to share is at Flinders, more than 80% of our program all come with what they call real integrate real WIL. WIL stand for Work Integrated Learning, which means that you'll be doing the real industry projects. For example, we have partnership with Accenture, with Microsoft, with Deloitte, with Nokia, Amazon Web Services, and this is some of the examples that you might be able to involve. For example, if you study Bachelor of IT, Computer Science in Cybersecurity, and currently we have a project with Accenture to develop a global company to implement secure global communications. So this is part of the industry project that you can apply to do. It can be in the either work integrated learning or internship. So this is some of the database that Flinders have, and you can be joining that to do the real industry project. Okay, if you are unable to meet entry, and we have this Flinders University Academy, which is what we call pathway. So for foundation, for diploma, or for English. So to share a bit with you, this is a Australian education system when compared to Malaysia or Indonesia system. So in Malaysia, Form 4 or Indonesia SM1 or Philippines grade 10. After that, you completed year 10, you go to year 11 or Form 5 or SMA2, or some people go to O levels. So standard wise, a lot of people go to grade 12, which is SPM IB, A levels, or SMA. And then from there, there's actually another pathway called foundation. So you can actually study foundation at Flinders University. And then afterwards, both of them will lead to year 1. Okay. Some people, if you cannot meet the direct entry, you will need to study a diploma. And at Flinders, we offer diploma as well. And if you finish the diploma, depends on how many credits you get. Most of the time, after you finish diploma, you will start year 2. And then afterwards, you start your master degree. Okay, for foundation entry, the entry requirement is as long as you completion of grade 11 or SPM, the duration will be 8 months or 12 months, the tuition fee, and then when you completed, you get 20% scholarship in your foundation. But when you progress to bachelor degree, it depends on your foundation score, which means if you complete your foundation with 65 and above, you got 15% scholarship deduction throughout the duration of your bachelor degree. If your foundation score is 18 and above, then you got 30%. This is some of the subjects they will be studying at your foundation. So the foundation will be very general, which is similar to year 12. You study 8 subjects. Okay, we have 12 months and 8 months. Why 12 months and 8 months? I will explain it slightly later. And if you come to diploma, the requirement is you complete the grade 12 or STPM or Philippines K-12. Again, duration is 8 months or 12 months. Tuition fee depends on the programs. Scholarship, as long as you complete the bachelor, as long as you come into the diploma, you get 20% tuition fee reduction. When you progress to bachelor, you also get 20% tuition fee reduction. And this is some of the programs that you can package, which means you come to study diploma and you can study business. And then we got diploma in engineering, we got diploma IT, we have diploma in creative industry, and diploma in health program. Okay, this is the study timeline. So let's say if you start your foundation or diploma, all right, and you start in February intake. Okay, Your study duration will be 12 months. And then after you finish that, you will start your university semester 1 in next year, February. Let's say if you start your foundation or diploma for June intake, you only need to study 8 months. After 8 months, you will start your year 1 here in next year, February. So it's actually a fast track. So let's say the third one, if you start your foundation or diploma in October, you will actually start your bachelor degree in mid-year intake, which is September 2, semester 2, which is July intake. So this is how you decide whether you want to study a 8 months program or 12 months program, depends on the intake. Okay, just share a bit about the student lifestyle. We got the Malaysia Thai Culture Club. If you're coming from a Malaysian background, so if let's say you're from Indonesia, we have a very, very active Indonesian Students Club as well. Yeah, they have FIFA World Cup, so they got quite a lot of events happening at the Indonesian Students Association. If you are Philippines, we got Philo as well. Philo is another clubs that for Philippine students. So there's a lot of clubs that you can actually join in as well. Okay, I will go back to the Q&A. If you got any question, please feel free to drop questions in the chat box and I will answer all your questions. Okay, just now when we talk about the environmental science, environmental degree. Okay, one of the very interesting things to share with you is for Flinders, we have 3 campuses, right? All of our campuses is using 100% renewable energy, which is a very, what we call go green campus. It's very interesting. So for this program, it's a 3 years program for Bachelor of Environmental Science. When you come for entry, you don't really need any prerequisite, which means no matter your grade 12 to study, what subject you study in your high school, doesn't matter. You will need to have some assumed knowledge of biology or chemistry. But if you don't, that is completely fine. You don't need to. Okay. For this program, there's some of the career outcome that you can do. Okay, it's showing here. But the niche about this program is you can actually do an honors year in the future if you wanted to. Okay, so when you finish the 3 years Bachelor of Science, and you can actually choose to do honors, which means additional 1 year to graduate with an honors degree. With the honors degree, you are able to progress into the PhD directly. Okay, for this program, there will be some really practical component, especially in your 3rd year. Okay, you will need to do some field study, which will be very interesting, that you really need to go out to the world to do some real experience. You're not only study inside the class for this program, and you have a 6 weeks industry-based practical, which means you will need to do an internship with the real industry. Okay. Next questions. Okay. So they got another question is asking whether you can use your experience trial results to apply for Flinders Foundation program. Yes, you can. So as I mentioned just now, if you already hold your trial results, then depends on which intake you want to come. We had June intake, October, the upcoming one will be the October intake, and the next one will be the February intake. And then do we need to submit portfolio? I assume that is for bachelor degree for virtual effect and entertainment design. Yes, you will need to study, you need to submit a portfolio. However, don't be worried about the portfolio because the reason they ask for, okay, let me show you here. Because the reason they ask for portfolio is not, it doesn't mean that you will need to have a very, very strong skill. Okay, the reason they ask for the portfolio is they want to see whether you got the arts sense. Let's say if you don't really have a very strong art sense, then they will recommend you some related program, but maybe not the program. And then you will learn a bit of the arts, and then you transfer back here. So again, it is not really require you to have a very strong art skill. It's more to let the course coordinator to understand what is your level so they can support it accordingly. And the portfolio, it can be anything. It can be a screen work, animation, game website. It can be a written work. It can be a photography, graphic design. It can be a production management material. So again, this is some of the example of what you will need to submit as part of your portfolio. And the idea is for the academic staff to assess, to know what is your arts level, to make sure we can better support you. Okay.
Sorry, Mason, just while we are here at the visual effect, I think we have another question also related to this from another platform. So the student question is actually, how are the students assessed for creative arts programs? So for example, in terms of projects, performance, exhibition, etc. So yeah.
So there's a visual effect, right? Okay, so it will quite depends on what is the subject. So for example, some subject it will be assignment based, which means you need to do the real project, you need to do real artwork, and it assess based on the project outcome. Some program it might have let's say exam, final exam. Then from there you will need to do the exam. But some program is some subject is completely showcase. Okay, so what showcase mean that if you study this program, give me a second, yeah, in this CDW showcase. Okay, this is the our students in your last year. You will need to do this showcase. Okay, this is part of how they assess your assess that. Where is it? Okay. So for example, 2025, last year, Bachelor of Creative Art, Visual Effect, Entertainment Design showcase, and then you need to do something like this. So Lizzie Wong, this is one of the students. You need to do something like this. Okay, this could be your part of your assignment. All right. Yeah. Okay. I actually have a students coming from Malaysia, and I asked, she studied in the one academy, and then I asked, why she wanted to study a bachelor degree at Flinders for visual event entertainment design. And she mentions that, when she looked at all the Flinders students' portfolio, she likes that how creative it is, which means that if you study here, what Flinders do is teach you all the skill, but we don't limit you into a certain style. So for example, some school they will prefer to teach you everything. Let's say taking a photography need to using a similar format or similar creative or similar idea or similar style. But at Flinders, it can be very different compared to your own preference. Okay, so this is some of the portfolios that you will need to you need to be done in your third year showcase, and this will be part of the assessment. Okay, what question we are?
Another question, Mira, I'm from IT background. Can I apply for social work?
Luckily, yes, you can. But if you're from IT background, then there will be a bit of a path for you to go through. So let's see. Okay, so for social work, we are accredited. You need to do 1,000 hours in 2 different settings. Good thing to share with you. We are the first master degree in Australia for Master of Social Work, and we are the first university in Australia that open to international students. So Flinders' reputation for social work is very, very strong. Okay, now, this is the auto light, so I need to keep. Okay, for Master of Social Work, what the requirement is bachelor degree background, no GPA, but you will need to have some background in social and behavioral science, for example, counseling, for example, social science, for example, law, and etc. And you need to have IELTS. But because you're coming from IT background, you don't have that. So what you need to do is you can study a program called Graduate Certificate in Society and Individual. This is a 3 months program. Okay, you only need to have a bachelor degree and you only need to have IELTS 6.5. So instead of IELTS 7, you will need to have IELTS 6.5 and no band less than 6. If you're coming to October to study the graduate certificate, after you finish the graduate certificate, you will start your master degree in February. If you start your GCSI, grad cert in April, you start your master of social work in July. Okay. And the good thing is when you apply as a package, which means you apply 2 programs together. You start at graduate cert, but you finish at master of social work. You don't need to reapply again. Another good thing is when you do this package, you'll be meeting the entry requirement and you'll be meeting the English for IELTS 7 as well. You don't need to retake English. So what they do for this program is you will learn 4 subjects: Introduction to Australian Health and Human Services, Professional Practice Technique, What is Australian Society, and Theories of Life in Contemporary Society. So this is a very good setup for you because you don't have the similar background. So you come to study these 4 subjects, it's actually help you to build the basic knowledge you will need for the Master of Social Work. Because when you start to do your Master of Social Work, the good thing is there is a compulsory placement, 1,000 hours. The bad thing is it will be quite busy because you will need to do the placement. All right. But coming from Asian background, it's not very busy. It's like a standard work, right? But all in all, it helps you to build a very strong foundation before you move to the placement so you don't feel that stress. Okay. You're well equipped before you start your placement. Yep.
All right. I think we have a couple more questions for you, Mason. One is regarding with UEC student. So if student only have school report of transcript but no UEC trial result, can they still put in application for conditional offer?
Yes. So actually, we always suggest students, if you are in your last semester or even your last year of study, you can try to get the trial results and put in the application as early as possible. Because, for example, when is the UEC result release?
Somewhere around January usually.
January, right? Because January and the university start in late February. So if you submit that, it might be a bit rushed. So some people might need to wait until July intake because they cannot make it on time. So the best case scenario is you start applying now with the trial results. You get an offer, and then you can ask whether they allow you to accept the offer first, and then to get the conditional COE. Because let's say if the condition is you will need to finish your UEC and you already finished your UEC test in December or November, you're only waiting for the final transcript, we might able to let you accept the offer and we might able to issue you the conditional COE. It will depends from case by case, but yes, please submit application as early as possible.
Oh, that's good to know. All right. Another question would be, does the student require to have high spec of laptop to study Bachelor of Games Vision spec?
Yes and no. What I say yes and no is yes, because when you do the visual effect, I will assume that your laptop need to be quite strong specs to be able to run all the program, especially like the Adobe kind of like things. It eats up a lot of RAM and you probably need a good laptop as well. However, if you don't really have the good laptop, the university has a certain computer which is meet to the standard that you can use. Yeah, so yes and no. Yes, because it does help you to do that, but no is if you really need it, then there's some laptop in the uni that you can not laptop, there are some computer in the university that you can access to. It just won't as convenient as if you have your own laptop, to be honest. Yeah, so the best suggestion is you're still using your own laptop because it will be more convenient for you.
Yep, that's right. I agree with that, Mason. Yep. So, yeah. Oh, okay. I have another one. It says, does Flinders have Master of Nursing program?
Okay, uh, Master of Nursing program. We do. It depends on what you want to study. So, I might need to back to here. So, what we have is a Master of Nursing. Okay, Master of Nursing. All right. For next year intake, or not next year, our current of Master of Nursing is for those who are already a registered nurse and wanted to progress into the management level or research. So this Master of Nursing is not something that will lead you to become a registered nurse. If you want to become a registered nurse, you study and you have a bachelor degree. What you study is you study the Bachelor of Nursing graduate entry. Okay, this is the for those who already have a bachelor degree and still wanted to become a nurse. You don't study Master of Nursing, you study Bachelor of Nursing with 2 years degree. Okay, because the standard will be 3 years. However, to share some updates with you, uh, the college is actually planning to launch a Master of Nursing graduate entry, which means Master of Nursing that can lead you to become a registered nurse. But this program won't be ready until July 2027. So if you're planning to come to February, you still apply for Bachelor of Nursing and graduate entry.
All right. Okay. For Master of Research, will it be easy to apply in Flinders? Master
Drop
of
us an email. Okay, for Master of Research, first thing is you will need to get a supervisor. Okay, first of all, get a supervisor, get a supervisor, get a supervisor. Okay, prepare your research proposal. Okay, come to this website, apply research degree. You will need to have of course, a bachelor degree and above to be able to make entry, and you will need to find the supervisor. So get your research proposal ready, and then come in here to find the supervisor. Okay. Once you get the supervisor confirmed, then you can submit your applications. Okay. Yeah. If you're really interested in that, then try to seek out and request for supervisor. Yeah,
All
that's
right.
what I can say. As long as you get as long as you can find a supervisor, I think it's quite easy to apply.
So the first rule is find a supervisor.
Yes.
All
Mm.
right. Okay, this one, Mason, it will be regarding with IELTS. So if student
Mhm.
English IELTS result does not meet direct entry degree, can they package it with English course? So for example, yeah. So can they do that?
Yes, they can. So for English, we do have for Flinders, we do have the EAP, so English for academic purpose. So the duration is 5 to 40 weeks, depends on your IELTS. So how does it work is it's come as a block. So 5 weeks is a block. So let's say if your IELTS overall you meet the overall score, but there's one band that you miss out 0.5. All right. So example, listening is you miss out 0.5. So what you do is you will do 5 weeks ELICOS English packaged with your degree. Let's say if your overall band is short of 0.5, let's say overall requirement is 7.0, but you only got 6.5, then you will need to package with 10 weeks. Okay. So overall 0.5, 10 weeks, one band 0.5, 5 weeks. So it depends on that and build out how many weeks of ELICOS you need to package with your bachelor degree. We normally don't suggest students to package ELICOS longer than 15 weeks because it will increase your visa risk, refusal risk. So the shortest, the better. Try to maintain it within 10 weeks. Mm.
Is there any scholarship for ELICOS program, Mason?
Yes, there will be a 20% scholarship for ELICOS. So the tuition fee is 515 per week, but you're able to get 20% scholarship and reduce 20% on the ELICOS.
Oh, wow, that's quite a lot.
Mm.
Yeah. All right.
Saving about hundreds per week. Yeah.
Yeah. And then for this one, it will be regarding with, I believe, Flinders Academy. So
Yes.
for Flinders Foundation or Diploma course, is it available in city campus?
So for foundation, it will study at our Bedford Park campus. Okay. So if you study foundation, then you will need to study at our Bedford Park campus. If you study a diploma, it depends. Let's say if you study diploma in business, okay, because we got 5 different diploma, then it will be at city campus. Okay. So for foundation at Bedford Park campus. For diploma, mostly you will be studying in the city campus.
Mm. All right.
So for example, for health, this is diploma in health. Then health will be at our Bedford Park campus. Yep. Mm.
Okay. And then another one. Wow, I like how we keep on having a lot of questions. So for nursing, is there any placement available in city or outside?
For nursing, is there any placement available?
Yes,
Uh,
in city or outside campus, I believe.
okay.
Yeah.
Uh, yes, there will be placement available because it's a compulsory, which means you must do placement. And one of the thing is when you do the placement, one of the clinical placement is actually at a rural placement, which means that there's one placement you need to do is you need to go out from the city, which will be maybe 2 hours away or 3 hours away. You will need to stay in the town for during the placement season. So the idea is because if you practice in a hospital, in a city hospital, you got all the equipment, you got all the staff, you got all the doctors, and then you are very focused on one skill when you're doing the placement. But imagine in the future, if you go to a rural place, which is a bit in Malaysia, in the we call more kampong area, okay? They don't have so many stuff. They don't have so many advanced equipment. How do you gonna manage that? So they need to prepare the student in advance. That's why during the placement, one of the parts you will need to go to these rural kampong places to do the placement to practice the skill. Just in case for the future you will need to use it and you don't have the skills. Mm.
Mm. All right. And I think another one will be about accommodation. So is there any scholarship or bursary available for Flinders accommodation?
We don't have the scholarship for accommodation, but having to say is that at Flinders we have a partnership, so we got few options. So one is if you study at our Bedford Park, we have on-campus accommodation. If you study in city campus, we have a partnership with the Switch. The Switch is the accommodation provider. Okay, they're based in city, and for Flinders students, they have some offer. So depends on the what package you're looking for because the room the room will be different price, uh different rooms are different price. So depends on your contract is either 6 months or 12 months, and you will have a special deals or um exclusive deal for Flinders students. Yeah.
Mm, okay.
And yeah, you can actually stay at the private rental if you wanted to as well. We at Flinders we have a database that can support students. So let's say if you study at Bedford Park campus, and then you can start searching, this is one bedroom with all the furniture ready, and then it's about 250 per weeks. Mm.
All right. Yeah, Mason, another question is about airport pickup service. Do Flinders have that, and is it paid or is it free?
This is very, very good one. Meet and greet. Okay, so this is a free service for all first arrival students. And please, if you're coming, don't miss it out. If you already have your flight, then you can come here, planning arrival, and we have this meet and greet service. Okay, and then you can book your meet and greet service, but you need to book 1 week in advance. So what happened is it is completely free, and instead of free, the uni will give you money. So we have a students, we will arrange an international student, hopefully someone similar background with you, either come from the same country or study the same program with you. So we arrange the students go to the airport at the arrival hall, holding the Flinders logo to wait for you. So when you walk up, at least you will see someone from Flinders. If you got any question, at least someone will be there to support you. And the good thing is because they are also international students background. So they know exactly your concern and they know exactly, what is the things that you worry about. So yeah, they will welcome you. They will give you some arrival pack, okay, with some information sheet, and they will give you a $60 gift card, prepaid card. You can use the $60 to take the taxi, take the Uber. We don't have Grab, so we take the Uber, take the taxi back to your hostel. Okay, you can use the prepaid credit card to pay, and the rest amount that left in the card, because you probably won't spend $60 for one trip, the rest of it, you can keep it for your next grocery or lunch or breakfast or dinner.
Oh, that's nice. Right.
Mhm.
I think this will be the last two question at the moment. So another one is there any AI related course in Flinders? I think it's
Yes.
a good question. Yeah.
Yes, we have Flinders Computer Science in AI. It depends on whether you're looking for bachelor degree or master degree. So let's say if you study for bachelor degree, we have this AI program study at Tonsley or City Campus. Um, you will need to have a mathematics background to be able to study this program. If you don't have that, doesn't matter. You can come through via diploma program. Okay. And the thing is, it's quite high paid, as you know, AI. It's quite high paid in Australia. The good thing about that is there's actually a placement that you can need to do. So the minimum placement for that one is 12 weeks. Okay, which means you need to do some internship. And of course, this program is accredited by Australian Computer Science Society. Okay, if you look into the study plan, in your last semester, you actually will need to do this one called industry-based practicum. Okay, but before you go to do the internship, you need to attend another subject called workplace preparation. So this is the 0 units, which means an extra subject you need to do. This is to teach you how to do resume, how to interview, what is the employer expectation, what is the Australian culture. So we want you to be well equipped before you go to do the internship. Because for Flinders, going to do internship is not just go there and try. Okay, we want the students prepared, go there, do some real work, and impress the employer and build the network. Because the goal is you can get a job straight away from your internship.
That's very good. I think this one is a little bit more personal question for you, Mason.
Hmm.
What advice would you give students who hope to build their careers in Australia after graduating from Flinders?
uh, what advice I'll give? Okay, I feel like because coming from my personal background, I feel like we always have, especially if you're coming from high school or you never work, you never have a working experience. I think it's very easy to miss out that a lot of people thought they go to the uni, they study hard, they graduate from the good universities, and then they get a good grades, then which means they get a good job. But this doesn't apply in Australia, okay? Because in Australia, everyone applying the job, they're all having a very good universities, because as long as you compete in a Australia public university, it's considered as a very good universities, right? So everyone have a bachelor degree or master degree. So you are not really stand out in that skill. But what they really um, look into that is really important is your work experience and your industry experience. That's why if you study at Flinders, whenever there's a placement opportunity, whenever there's an internship opportunity, or there's a project base, work on that one, because there's something that can help you to build on your resume, to build the connections. You need to be very outgoing, outspoken to really build the connection, and it will help you to get a job in Australia afterwards. Mm. Try to engage a bit more, do more internship, volunteer, part-time jobs, casual jobs, whatever. Get yourself out there. Don't just stay in the uni class. Don't just stay in the class and just study, okay? You need to go out and explore. Mm.
That's a very good advice, Mason. I think everyone agrees here as well. Yeah.
Mm.
So Yeah, so if anyone have any other questions for Mason, please feel free to drop it either in the Q&A or in the chat box. But while waiting for those, just wanted to ask you, Mason, is there any international club specifically for students like from Malaysia, Indonesia, or Philippines that that students can join?
Yes. So Indonesia, you are quite lucky because I would comment this as a one, the most I would comment this as a most oh actually I forgot to share my screen. Oh my God. I will comment this as the most active clubs ever in Flinders. So it's an Indonesia Students Club. So they do a lot of events. They are very active. They have very strong community for Indonesian students. Um, we have a lot of Australian awards, and then they show up on campus at 4:30 in the morning just to watch the World Cup. I was planning to go, but I overslept, so I didn't watch the World Cup really. So they have a lot of events happening. Yeah, so it's very active. For Malaysia Club as well, yes, we do have a Malaysia and Thai Culture Club as well. And for Philippines, we got the Philo Club, and this is also quite an active club as well. So called Philos Club. So they also host the morning tea kind of like things. Yeah. So and this is some of the Philippines restaurants here in South Australia. So you don't have to worry. They got quite a lot of different cuisines here. Yeah. So yeah, there's quite, and of course you guys love karaoke, like. So there's some examples of the club. This is at the Oasis, which is one of the university campus. They are organizing some food. Yep. Mm, mm. Yeah. So there's a club for everyone.
Really nice. Yep. All right. I think I let me just double check if I missed out any questions at all.
Mm.
Um Yep, I think you have answered all the questions. Thank you so much once again, Mason, for the very insightful sharing. I hope all the attendees here managed to learn a little bit more about Flinders and especially considering Adelaide as the destination for your further study plan. So if you have any further questions at all, just feel free to reach out to us and then hoping to help you to further your study at Flinders University and then meet with Mason as well.
Yeah. I'll be welcome you at our campus.
Thank you so much, Mason.
All right. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much. Have a good day.